Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the SimRap Market National Series here on Intensity Broadcasting on iRacing as we're getting ready for race number 2 of the playoffs, a round of 8 here at Talladega Superspeedway. And I just realized that the playoff drivers are not coming up highlighted up there, so let me just double check something over here on my screen. As we see, time is expiring here in qualifying. Yep, we see them highlighted there. Let's see if they come back over here. Well, we'll get that figured out in just a moment. Now they're all going to pop up like that just because I said something. As qualifying has ended, we got a little late start. There's a little bit of stuff going on in the league itself. They wanted to have a discussion, so we got a little late start. Let's take a look at the starting grid here tonight. On pole, we will have the 77 of Craig Lautenschlager with Eric Schaefer rolling off from the second position. Then Jason Hastings and Chris Bishop roll off in row number 2. Last week's winner and locked in, Warren Kyle Keith, rolls off from the 5th spot with Cedric Hunter back in 6th. Logan Sturgeon rolls off 7th with Craig Parks in the 8th position. Timothy Stubblefield, Josh Lokovitz, and Brad Titus make up the rest of the field. And what I'm going to do here is just adjust something on my end as the field gets lined up here and ready to roll off. 50 laps here tonight, just one stage on lap number 20. It's a little different format than what we're used to seeing here, but here at Talladega, it's always going to be exciting nevertheless. Alright, we'll set our tower here, and you'll see that Warren Kyle Keith, his name is red. That's because he won last week, and he is officially locked in to the round of 8. Ignore the fact that it says 90 laps there on the tower. We will only be going 50 laps here tonight. Bit of a smaller field, but nevertheless, here at Talladega, that could make things really exciting. We've seen that in the SCSRA, in the all-star races there. Having just 4 or 5 cars on the track has made it exciting. So we'll see how this one turns out here and see who's going to lock themselves into the final race. At Homestead Miami Speedway. As the field makes their way around, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, over on Kick, over on Twitch, or you're watching this after the fact. We do appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcast. Of course, the chat is open as it always is. Let us know who you're rooting for here tonight. I also want to thank some of our great partners here, including Race API for all your iRacing coaching and setup needs. Visit raceapi.com. Of course, if you're a small-time race team looking for some swag, get a quote today over at intensityracing.com. Or if you're looking to pick up some of Atlee Atman Weiss's racing gear or some of our novelty t-shirts, you can check that all out over at intensityracing.com. Of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, our series sponsor, simrapmarket.com. iRacing paints made easy. Check them out down at the link below at simrapmarket.com. Pace truck getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn down on the pit road. And one unique thing about Talladega Superspeedway is where that start-finish line is located. Not in the center of the tri-oval like most racetracks. It is located way past the tri-oval and on its way down to turn number 1. That means the Geico restart zone is right there. The green flag will fly. And we are racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. A great jump for Eric Schaefer, getting the run on the high side. He's going to pull down in front of Lautenschlager to take over the lead early, as these cars are just getting wound up and up to speed. It will take these cars about a lap to get up to speed completely. It's going to be which lane gets more organized. That's where the momentum and the energy is going to come from. Right now, it looks like it's the bottom lane, but here's the top lane. Starting to get lined up a little bit. We see Chris Bishop and Cedric Hunter up on that high lane trying to get something rolling up there. Also, we see the 71 of Craig Parks trying to get something rolling, as Chris Bishop's going to take over the lead with a big shove from Cedric Hunter as they come down into turn number 3. Off of turn number 3, that push is still coming. Here comes Craig Parks right there on the back of that Hello Kitty 13. Trying to move that top lane forward. Right now, those 3 are clear with Josh Lokovitz sitting in the 4th place. He's going to get clear. Is anybody going to pull down to the low side here as they come down into turns 1 and 2? Now that bottom lane is starting to get that momentum back as Josh Lokovitz is side by side with Eric Schaefer. Now Schaefer pulls alongside Craig Parks as they come down the backstretch. You'll notice these cars move a lot here as they go down the straightaways. These cars are very unstable on the straightaways. They're actually loaded up and much more stable in the corners, and that's where you'll see these cars kind of hold their line a little bit better as they go around down the straightaways, because of the air and how unstable these cars are set up. So they'll move around quite a bit as they go through the straightaways. Now we see the 21 of Warren Kyle Keith moves up to the 3rd lane. He's going to try to make a 3rd lane up here to the outside of Jason Hastings. I'm sorry, that's Brad Tice. Jason Hastings down on the low side. We see Big Fish Logan Sturgeon down on the bottom as well. He's caught on the low side of that 3 wide as they come down the backstretch. You see that middle lane starts to pull up just a little bit. That allows that top lane a little bit of draft here to start moving forward. And we see that awesome looking Venom paint job that the 21 of Warren Kyle Keith is running here tonight. The big shove from Timothy Summerfield. As I mentioned, maybe not that many cars, but the intensity is rising up. As we've got 3 wide racing going on, and that top lane, that 3rd lane with just 2 cars starting to make something move. Come down the backstretch, 3 wide. Middle of the pack. Right now, Craig Schaefer, though, out in front. Chris Bishop holding on tight in 2nd. They go side by side, door to door, down into turn number 3. You'd think that bottom lane has more cars. It'd be moving a little bit better, but it's not as organized as that middle lane is. Now Warren Kyle Keith going to tuck down in behind, as Josh Lokovitz is going to go down to the bottom, and Warren Kyle Keith tucks in behind Craig Parks. Well, he just go 2 wide racing on lap number 5. These cars have a very small spoiler, so the side draft on these cars tends to not be quite as strong as you might see in the Cup cars or the trucks, but we will see the side draft come into play here, and that's when you can position your car right next to the car next to you and dump that wave of air coming off your car onto that rear spoiler, try to slow that car down. Right now, that bottom lane starting to get organized yet again. But here comes the top lane with the energy again on the high side. They come side by side off of turn number 2. Right now, that bottom lane with the advantage. Eric Schaefer and Craig Lautenschlager getting moving on the low side. as these cars run in a draft, they're going to run much faster than they would have running single file by themselves or alone by themselves. We saw the times in qualifying, most of these drivers running 54s, 55s by themselves. Last time by, Timothy Stubblefield ran the fastest lap of the race. No, Warren Keith ran the fastest lap of the race with a 51.40. So times are picking up as the field tries to get something going here. Who's going to be the one to pull out a line, try to make it 3 wide again, and who's going to go with you? It's all about who your friends are, who's going to work with you. You can't do it alone. Great view of just how tight these cars are running here off of turn number 4 as they come down the short chute towards the tri-oval. And the tri-oval here, this is the part where the cars are going to be the most unsettled. And with these Xfinity cars, you can push pretty much all the way around the track, except for in the tri-oval. That's where the cars really don't want to be pushed. We just saw the 21 of Warren Keith kind of tuck out of the line there in that, again, awesome Venom painted car. Really digging that one here tonight. Y'all know me, I'm a sucker for a good paint job. But the battle up front between Chris Bishop and Eric Schaefer continues to go back and forth. Now Bishop with a little bit of an advantage up on the high side. Here comes Schaefer back to the bottom, getting a push from Lautenschlager. And as they come across the stripe, it's going to be almost even. The Schaefer's going to be out by just a little bit. That time Logan Sturgeon ran the fastest lap of the race, 51.35. Down to the bottom side this time, right in front of Logan Sturgeon and right behind Josh Lokovitz, trying to see if he can make something happen down on the low side. Again, he's already advanced. He's already locked in to the final race. Really doesn't need to push the issue here, but he can also lock somebody else out of advancing by winning here tonight as well. So as we come down through the tri-oval and to the start-finish line, we'll be halfway through the first stage. That time Chris Bishop led that lap by just a hair. Right now, both lanes really organized, not really able to get anything going. You see Logan Sturgeon kind of hanging out back right now, just kind of trying to stay out of trouble in case something happens. Of course, with this many cars, you don't really expect the big one to happen, but it can happen. Field continues to go side by side, 2 by 2 all the way around the racetrack. Eric Schaefer starting to pull out ahead of Chris Bishop by a little bit here, but now Bishop wiggling around on the high side trying to make something happen. And I'm sure once we get down to the nitty-gritty of the stage, the last 2 or 3 laps, we're going to start really seeing that 3 and maybe even 4 wide racing here at Talladega as Eric Schaefer takes over that top spot. Greg Lautenschlager able to sneak up in the second for a second. Ooh, and the 49 of Jason Hastings gets out of line just a little bit. I thought Josh Lokovitz might be able to peek down underneath, but Lokovitz wisely backed out of it. Allowed Hastings to get back into the line. Again, Hastings running up the track a little bit. Don't know if he's trying to edge anybody. Trying to entice anybody to move up into that middle lane. Logan Sargent kind of falling back a little bit. He's quite a few car lengths back. One thing you don't want to do is lose the draft. And Warren Keith starting to get a run here. Now they're going 3 wide. Josh Logovitz and Brad Titus up to the high lane as they go 3 wide down into turn number 1. Of course, 3 wide might be kind of sketchy at a place like Daytona, but here at Talladega, 3 wide feels pretty easy. You can even go 4 or 5 wide pretty easily here at Talladega, but right now we're 2 wide racing as Logovitz tries to make something happen up on that high side. Down through the trial they come. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Chris Bishop able to lead that time by. We're closing up on 5 laps remaining in the stage. Able to clear Schaefer here. I was surprised that maybe he didn't want to try to tuck down in front of the 4 machine. I know if you're Cedric Hunter, that's exactly what you were hoping for, is to get that top lane to yourself. As you see Hastings push up through the track just a little bit again. Bottom lane starting to get a little bit more organized, get that energy going. As the top lane really spread apart there behind Cedric Hunter. Hunter stays glued to the bumper of Chris Bishop, and everybody behind him starts to fall back a little bit. Now we've got a little bit of a 3-car, now 4-car breakaway on that low side as Logan Sargent starting to fall back from Warren Keith. Down the backstretch 2 by 2. Now Logan Sargent up in that high line with Brad Titus and Josh Lokovitz. Could they get something rolling up there on that high side? Now that we see the 3 of them lined up. And Timothy Stubblefield lined up with Logovitz as well. So that's the 4 Big Fish Motorsports drivers lined up on the high side. We'll see if they make anything happen here in the closing laps. As we work lap 17, stage end at lap 20. Right now though, everybody kind of biding their time. Expect that intensity to pick up in the next lap or 2 as this is coming to the close of the stage, especially from these drivers who are a little bit further in the back. And if that run does come up to the 3rd lane, does Cedric Hunter jump up to the high side, try to block it, and push himself up to the front? As we see Warren Keith makes his way down on the pit road. I don't know if this is a scheduled pit stop or if he had something happen. Again, he's locked in, so he might be trying to run a little different strategy than the rest of the field. As we pick the field back up coming off of turn number 2. Now just 3 cars down on the low side as Lautenschlager jumps up to the high side. Now we're starting to see the moves happen as 2 cars on the bottom of the track are going to be much slower than the rest of the field who are lined up, as now Lautenschlager jumps up in front of Eric Schaefer, and he's going to lead a lap here as Warren Kyle Keith makes his way off of pit road. I figured these drivers didn't have enough gas to make it to the end of the stage. Now that bottom lane starting to get a little bit more lined up, as a big gap between Cedric Hunter and Timothy Stubblefield. As Timothy Stubblefield, Josh Lokovitz jump up to the high side. It looks like Brad Titus and Logan Sturgeon are going to go as well. So 4 cars up on the high side, 2 cars in the middle, 4 cars down on the bottom. It's going to be a very evenly matched group here as they come through turns 3 and 4. Way off of turn number 4, down through the short chute and to the tri-oval. Craig Lautenschlager out in front. Eric Schaefer sits back in second. As they come down to the stripe, Lautenschlager is going to block up the middle lane, and there's the caution for the stage, and Craig Lautenschlager will be your stage winner. Eric Schaefer going to bring it home second, Chris Bishop third, Cedric Hunter back in fourth, Jason Hastings in the 5th position. I'm going to wait till they all come around here and get organized. While they go around and catch up with the pace car, let's have a word from our sponsor. So the field has caught up to the pace truck as they make their way down through turns 3 and 4. You should see the entire field come down to pit except for Warren Kyle Keith, who was able to get off of pit road in front of the field. He did not lose a lap. As the entire field makes their way down onto pit road. Looks like Eric Schaefer trying to overtake Craig Lautenschlager here on pit road. Ooh, both Schaefer and Jason Hastings had to back up a little bit to get into their pit stall. Craig Lautenschlager down first, Eric Schaefer second, Chris Bishop down and away in third. I should say fourth because Warren Kyle Keith did stay out this time, and we will have our choose this time by field just catching up to the pace truck here off of turn number 2. We'll have ours choose, and then we'll have our final 30-lap run. Be about 27-lap run to the end of the event. as the field gets ready to come down and choose. Try to get this choose cone a little bit more where it needs to be. There we go. So we'll see where everybody's going to line up here. Warren Kyle Keith, your control car, he's going to jump up to the high side, putting Craig Lautenschlager down on the low side. Timothy Stubblefield will roll off, restart in third with Eric Schaefer up in fourth. Josh Lokovitz in the fifth spot. Chris Bishop in sixth. Craig Parks will roll off seventh. Cedric Hunter in eighth. Brad Titus ninth. Jason Hastings 10th, and then Logan Sturgeon at the back of the field in 11th. Just want to thank our great partners here who make this possible, including our series sponsor, SimWrapMarket.com. iRacing paints made easy. Check them out at SimWrapMarket.com or by clicking the link down below. Of course, you can also check out our website over at IntensityRacing.com. If you're a small-time race team looking for some swag, get a quote today over at IntensityRacing.com, or if you just want to pick up one of our novelty t-shirts or some of Atlee Atman Weiss's racing gear, you can check all that out over at IntensityRacing.com. And of course, our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is a well-known established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products as users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products featured right for you by visiting thebuttkicker.com. We go that pace car taking that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Green flag is in the air. We are back racing. David Hartney in the chat says, Josh, good to see you, Hartney. I am here. I am alive. I am kicking as the green flag flies. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. As Warren Kyle Keith gets a great jump on that top side, gets down in front of Craig Lautenschlager. Hangs out Eric Schaefer all by himself on the high side. Just waiting for Chris Bishop to get to him, and now Schaefer is going to jump up to the high side with Bishop. No, Bishop's going to tuck back in behind Keith there. 3 wide for the lead as they go down into turn number 3. Schaefer's going to lose all his momentum up there on the high side by himself. He's going to have to tuck in behind Cedric Hunter here as Craig Lautenschlager takes the point as they come off of turn number 4 and down to the trial. Not quite as organized as we saw the first part of the run. Timothy Stubblefield gets a little bit of a side draft there from Warren Kyle Keith. Keith trying to get a shove here from Chris Bishop to get himself up to the point. Try to win both races so far in this stage, or in this round of 8. Of course, earlier I forgot to show the points. This is how the point standings, oops, that's a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. That is what the points look like coming into tonight's race. Of course, Warren Kyle Keith has advanced. Eric Schaefer, Cedric Hunter, and Craig Lautenschlager are your top 4 above the cut line. Tony Kivitt, 4 points below. Josh Lokovitz, 8 points below. Jason Hastings and Brad Titus really need to win to get in to the next round. Hardy says he's out. Has some work to do. Glad to see you alive and well. Yes. For those that don't know, Tuesday I did suffer a mild heart attack. Fortunately, I caught it in time. Had a couple blockages removed. Had a stent put in. And here, live, kicking. Feeling much better. And glad to be able to be here announcing for you guys here tonight as Warren Keith continues to lead, and we go 3 wide racing with Jason Hastings jumping up to the 3rd lane for a moment. Now he's going to tuck it back in line. That bottom lane much more organized than that top lane is right now. But going back to what I just said a moment ago, please, if your body's telling you something, listen to it. It's really important that you do that. I'm really glad that I did, or else realistically I may not be here. So take care of yourselves. And I'm going to get off my horse now and get back to calling this race, as we got a side-by-side battle between Craig Lautenschlager and Warren Keith for the lead off of the tri-oval, as Lautenschlager takes over the point with a big shove from Cedric Hunter down into turn number 1. Two leaders go side by side down the backstretch, pretty even, but here comes Lautenschlager with a big shove here from Cedric Hunter down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Cedric Hunter would love nothing more than to be able to get out in front and lead this thing himself. They come back down through the tri-oval, and Lautenschlager with a car length lead over the bottom lane of Warren Keith. Both lanes now getting pretty organized here. Not a lot of energy on either side. You see some flames come out in the back, in the side pipes there on the 71 machine. And that's the thing, these drivers in the front, they can work, or they can run with the throttle wide open, but when you're more in the back of the pack, you're definitely going to have to roll on throttle just a little bit to keep from running into the back of a car in front of you. Right along here with Craig Parks. Here right now, pretty much wide open, but when they come down the straightaway here, you'll hear the car start to lift a little bit. I see some flames pop out of the cars around them, indicating they're off the throttle. Because you can push the car in front of you, but you don't want to push the pusher. You don't want to be the guy who's, you see the 92 had some flames there. Excuse me. Saw the flames shoot out the side of Timothy Stubblefield right there, because you don't want to push the car that's doing the pushing. That can lead to some very, very bad things happening. Even though there's only 11 cars on the racetrack, we could see all 11 cars caught up in an instant with a push gone wrong. Schaefer tried moving up to the top side, see if anybody would go with him. Nobody did. We continue to have 2 lanes of single file all the way around the racetrack, with Warren Keith and Craig Lautenschlager trading leads back and forth. Cedric Hunter with nowhere to go but try to push that 77 forward. Lautenschlager and Cedric got a little bit higher than the rest of the field was running, and I thought that maybe Jason Hastings was going to try to make it 3 wide coming through off the triangle over there, but he decided to stay in line. Again, you see flames shooting out the side of that 92 machine as he tries to stay off the back bumper of the 14. Again, you want to be tucked right up underneath that back bumper if you can as the third car. And that's how you're going to make things move. But you don't want to touch that car that's doing the pushing. Right now, nobody's really doing much pushing. Everybody's kind of staying off one of another. As we come across the stripe to work lap number 33 of 50. I know it says 90 up there, but we are only running 50 laps tonight. Ooh, and Eric Schaefer pushes up off the corner, catches the outside wall. Doesn't look like it did any damage to that machine, but close call there for the driver of the Ford machine. Trying to get himself into the final round at Homestead Miami Speedway. Lautenschlager now is starting to get something going up on that high side with Cedric Hunter in tow. Again, the first couple cars were really organized, really lined up. Where the rest of the back, the bottom lane, you can see not quite as tightly packed as that top lane is, and that's where that energy is going to start coming from, up on that high side. Of Brad Titus jumps out of line, tries to make it 3 wide. I don't know if he was shoved up there or tried to go up there by himself, but right now he is stuck up on the high side by himself. Surprisingly able to hold on up there by himself currently. That's something he's going to pull out in front of him to try to push that top lane along. Titus is now alongside Parks, so he was able to get by Schaefer by himself up there, but how long is going to last as, yeah, that momentum, that energy is going away on that 8 machine. He's going to have to tuck in behind Eric Schaefer. Titus back up to the high side, so it looks like he's trying to get somebody to go with him up on that high lane. Of course, he needs the points to advance on to the next round. Greg Lautenschlager and Cedric Hunter are teammates. They're also got their teammate Chris Bishop down on the bottom side, pushing Warren Kyle Keith. So 2 teammates working together. One trying not to push that 21 too much, trying to push his teammates ahead. Oh, we got one out of control. Bishop down to the inside wall. Him and Timothy Stubblefield got out of control. They were able to save it. I don't know if there was any contact with the wall. Let's go back and see if we can see what happened here to Bishop in Stubblefield. Let's take a look here from the blimp. We'll slow it down here. And could this have just been a bad bump? Yeah, it looks like Stubblefield pushed the pusher. We were talking about that earlier. And that sends the Bishop machine up the track, almost into the side of Hastings. Those two make contact. And is there any contact with the wall? No, they were both able to keep it off the wall. He kept it off the grass. Great save for both those drivers. Unfortunately, as of right now, they are out of the event. Unless we were to get another caution here that could catch the field up. But right now they are 5 seconds behind the pack and falling quickly. As Lautenschlager now moves out of the bottom as Craig Parks gets loose down underneath. He's able to save it. Will he be able to stay with the draft? I think he will be able to stay with the pack. As we are closing in on 10 laps to go. Lautenschlager with a push here from Hastings. And here comes Cedric Hunter with a push here from Warren Kyle Keith. And it looks like Craig Parks has officially lost the draft himself. See just how far behind Logan Sturgeon that 71 machine is. I don't know if he'll be able to catch back up. I'm seeing a couple bad pushes already, getting things getting a little wild here in the closing laps. As they come across the stripe this time, we'll have just 10 laps to go. Craig Lautenschlager down on the low side. Cedric Hunter up on the high side. Now Lautenschlager get a big shove here from Jason Hastings, who's going to move up into that second spot. He's got Eric Schaefer right there, who is pushed to the back earlier in the race. And now Schaefer doing a little pushing of the pusher there. Got the 49 out of shape just a little bit. Warren Kyle Keith with a bad push there on Cedric Hunter. Got him a little out of shape for a moment, but they're able to gather it up. As we are coming to 9 laps to go when they cross the stripe this time. Side door-to-door teammates. Craig Lautenschlager and Cedric Hunter come down the backstretch. Warren Kyle Keith giving a big shove to Hunter. Jason Hastings giving a big shove to Lautenschlager as they come down into turn number 3. Shove now from Cedric Hunter, gets him out in front for a moment, but we saw Warren Kyle Keith back off, pull him backwards. Lautenschlager out in front. And somehow we thought Craig Parks was going to be out of this one. But you see that 71 right back in the mix. He was able to drive back up through the field, so he did not lose the draft like I thought he did. And he's right back in the mix here as well behind Eric Schaefer. Seven laps to go across the stripe this time. And with the cars that have fallen off the draft, drivers like Timothy Stubblefield and Chris Bishop, because they are so far off the back right now, it's really messed up the amount of cars in the lines up here to try to make anything happen. As Josh Logovitz and Brad Titus look up to the high side, they're hoping for Logan Sturgeon to come up and give a hand as well. Sturgeon, though, right now too far back to make anything happen. As they come across the stripe for 6 laps to go. Cedric Hunter, Craig Lautenschlager door to door, side by side through turns 3 and 4. Now Lautenschlager out in front as Hastings comes back to the back bumper, gives that 70-70 shove. They come through the tri-oval to come to 5 laps to go. And Logan Sturgeon has pulled off on the pit road. Looks like his day is coming to an end. I don't think these drivers are going to need fuel here in the closing laps. You see the door-to-door action here between Craig Lautenschlager and Cedric Hunter, who falls back a little bit. Now gets another shove here from Warren Kyle Keith. We have 4 laps to go. So far, nobody in the back jumping out of line. I thought we might see some 3-wide racing here in the closing laps. Ooh, Warren Kalkut gets a little shove there from Lokovitz, gets him out of shape. Lokovitz and Titus are going to move up to that high lane. Coming to 3 laps to go. Now Cedric Hunter was out in front by himself, but here comes the 77. Craig Lautenschlager back down to the inside. As we are 3 wide now for the lead. Lokovitz up on the high side. Cedric Hunter in the middle. Craig Lautenschlager down on the low side. Lokovitz and Titus were just hoping for one more car to be up on that high side. Now they're going to try to fall back and try to get another run here as we come to 2 laps to go. Again, there's a mix-up in the amount of laps that the race was going to run here tonight, so ignore the tower. We are on lap number 49 of 50. So 2 laps to go, actually 1.5 laps to go. Oh, is the 49 of Hastings that shoved up the track into the side of Warren Kyle Keith. Cedric Hunter, though, out in front by a nose here as they come off of turn number 4 and down to the short chute towards the tri-oval. And coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go as they come down across the stripe. Cedric Hunter out in front by a nose as they come down through turns 1 and 2. Now Lautenschlager getting the run here through turns 1 and 2 with a shove from Hastings, who gets into the back, shoves that 77. Oh, and 77 gets a little loose there with a shove from the 49. Hastings dives down to the apron. Now Lokovitz going to move up to the high side. And now we've got a battle here as Lokovitz coming up on the high side. Here comes Lautenschlager on the low side, trying to get another shove here from Hastings as they come down towards the tri-oval for the final time, down through the tri-oval. Lautenschlager out in front. Oh, we got Hastings going around. He's going through the grass as they come to the stripe. And it's going to be Cedric Hunter by a hair. Craig Lautenschlager comes home second. Josh Lokovitz, I believe, came home third. We're just going to try to figure this out here as the field is frozen. They threw the caution to get the timing just right. As we get it was indeed Cedric Hunter getting the win here tonight. He's going to come down onto the front stretch here at the tri-oval, and he's going to burn him down and celebrate his win. He burns it down. As soon as he's done burning it down, celebrating here, we'll take a look at the finish. See where everybody finished here officially. Great burnout. Got that car completely sideways here, giving the fans a show. Let's go through and take a look back at the actual finish here. And there it is, Cedric Hunter by a nose over Craig Lautenschlager. It looks like Josh Lokovitz is going to be in third. No, it looks like Warren Kyle Keith just barely beat out Lokovitz to the line. So Lokovitz is going to come home fourth. Eric Schaefer in fifth. Craig Titus in sixth. Hastings in seventh. Craig Parks in eighth. Timothy Stubblefield in ninth. And Chris Bishop back in 10th, with Logan Sturgeon finishing in 11th. The cars park down on pit road, and we'll have a word from our sponsor as we get ready to talk to our final three, or top three. So there is the way they finished, with Cedric Hunter getting the win, Craig Lautenschlager in second, Warren Kyle Keith third, Josh Lokovitz and Eric Schaefer. As we get ready to talk to our top three, starting with our third place finisher, Warren Kyle Keith. Hey, Warren, you got Josh on the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Coming home in third. Saw you kind of hanging out in the back for a little bit, then kind of worked your way up towards the front. Know you were already locked into the final four. Were you trying to play spoiler here and trying to take away somebody else's chance to move on automatically, or were you just trying to ride it out and take it easy here tonight?
A little both. First stage, we figured out that it was going to be a track position race through and through. Like, we couldn't get a third line moving, and both lines were just stalling out. You couldn't even push the top side pass. So, short pitted to try to get track position, and it worked out. We went from the last car in the pack to the leader on the restart, and we hung in there the whole race, finished third, obviously. So that swap of track position really helped. I promised Cedric last week that just because he helped me with like figuring out Michigan on the fly. Well, this last week with the setup, that I would help him if I needed to here and push him to a win if I had to. And sure enough, that's what we did. So came through on that. But yeah, what a drive and what a race. I know earlier in the night it looked like we were going to be racing it all. So the fact that we got 50 good clean laps in and it was actually quite enjoyable was a good bonus.
You know, I said at the start of the race, sometimes it doesn't matter car count at Talladega or Daytona. As long as you've got a good group of guys, maybe 10 to 15 cars, you can put on a good show. And that's exactly what you guys did tonight. You talked about the lines just not really able to get any momentum or get anything going. I know it wasn't due to a lack of car count. It just looked like people weren't able to get as organized as we normally see. Was it tough to get on the back bumper of these cars, or was it just people not really trusting each other too much here tonight?
No, everyone had trust in each other. Like, it was amazing. We all were bumping throughout the pack. We were just trying to get a line to go. Fortunately, these Xfinity cars, they have the old draft model. So, I mean, once both lines get even, they stall out. I mean, unless you have a big push or like Craig was doing, he was getting a good run off the banking, off of 2 and 4. That's really when he was able to pull alongside or get even with me. So, I wish they would introduce the new draft model to the Xfinity cars. I think it'd be a lot more realistic, especially the leader might be able to control lanes by getting out there and holding the bubble. But until then, it's going to be just that chess match of tug of war. What line has the momentum at a certain time. Obviously, coming to the line, we had a momentum on that second lane, which we did all night coming into the trial. So I knew if we had to get high to get up there in this Venom Circle 21 car, we would do what we had to do, and that's what we did. And luckily, Cedric got the win. But yeah, it was just, I mean, you couldn't get track position all night just because both lines just stalled out anytime they got side by side.
Well, I will say that is a absolutely gorgeous looking car you had out there tonight. Caught my eye for sure. I'm a sucker for a good paint job. But next week we move on to Vegas. How do you like your chances closing out at Vegas next week?
Good. It's going to be a good practice race for Homestead, especially with the setup. We did I did a little race the other night at Vegas, and hopefully it'll be similar conditions. But yeah, it's a right rear heavy set, just like it was at Michigan. So the car is going to be very, very touch and go, especially in side by side moments. But hopefully it's a good practice for Homestead. We can go to Homestead and try to lock out a championship.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations here coming home P3 here tonight. Before we let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you got to give here tonight?
Shout out to Cedric for helping me last week. Like I said, with trying to figure out how to get that car through 3 and 4 last week, and congratulations to him and everyone here at the league. I know we're going to be the last couple races for this league, but hopefully they have a new league coming up here soon, and hopefully you help broadcast it again. So thank you, Josh.
Well, I appreciate it. I'd love to if the chance comes about. But again, congratulations on P3. Good luck next week at Vegas. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Have a great night. So that was your third place finisher, Warren Kyle Keith. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Craig Lautenschlager. Craig, you got Josh over the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, a great run for you tonight. Coming home P2, just beat out by a hair at the line, but a great run for the team and a great finishing spot for you trying to lock yourself into that final four. Talk us through the strategy here tonight because it seemed like you guys had that bottom lane locked down and you're trying to do everything you could to get that momentum on that low side.
Yeah, we kind of just controlled it with me and Cedric and Chris Bishop, and we were able to get that stage one win, and then really just control a lot of the race. Just as long as a kind of play a driver above the cut line won tonight, that's all I needed. So we did exactly what we needed to do.
For sure, and it was like I said, it was close there at the line. I didn't see the exact number, but I want to say it was within at least a couple hundredths. But man, what a drive for you! Kept yourself clean, kept yourself out of trouble. I know there wasn't a huge car count, but these super speedway races can be just as exciting with a lower car count, and that's what we saw tonight. What was there? Was there any kind of strategy? I know you said you wanted to make sure somebody above the cut line won tonight, but was there any other strategy coming in here tonight to try to keep yourself above that cut line?
Obviously, just trying to keep it clean, and then we had to get stage points, even though the fifth place driver wasn't here. So losing a few stage points wouldn't have hurt me too bad, but I wanted to get those stage points just so I have a good, nice points cushion going into Vegas.
For sure. And as we move into Vegas next week, how do you like your chances at the old mile and a half?
It's probably not one of my better tracks, but I think I'll have good speed, and I think we'll get in on points if not a win. But yeah, I think we've got everything set up for us to make that final four.
Well, again, good luck next week at Vegas, trying to lock yourself into that final four. And of course, Craig, before you let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Uh, no, just everybody that puts the league on and keeps showing up. Yeah, just all those guys.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the runner-up spot here tonight. Good luck at Vegas, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, cool.
Have a great night. So that was your second place finisher, Craig Lautenschlager. And let's bring in your winner here tonight, driver of the 13, Cedric Hunter. Cedric, you got Josh up to the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Man, what a run for you here tonight. Looked like you were kind of stuck in that bridesmaid spot on that high lane for most of the race here tonight, kind of stuck behind somebody trying to move forward and just not able to get something going until the end there, where you find yourself leading that high lane and getting the win here tonight. I know Warren Kyle Keith told you he was going to push you to a win here tonight if he got the opportunity. That's exactly what he did. But talk us through your strategy. Was that kind of the goal here tonight, was try to control that top lane to get yourself in, or did you have other plans?
Yeah, I mean the plan was definitely to kind of stay in that second line there the whole race. It seemed like it just got the best runs and yeah, like it just seemed to be the place to be from the drop of the green, the initial drop. So the plan tonight was honestly to try and prevent any of the other playoff drivers to win other than my teammates Craig, and then Warren's obviously locked in, and after tonight's race, I'm pretty sure that Schaefer's also locked in as well. So if they won, it would have been okay. And then we were just kind of preventing Hastings or Lokovitz or Titus to win, just because that would then knock out Craig, and I think that would have kind of ended his chances at a championship. So it was a lot of strategy and kind of team racing. But it worked out. I mean, I honestly wasn't expecting to tie, obviously, to crit across the line and win the race. My plan there at the end was go for the win if I could take the win away from somebody else. But if Craig was there, then I was going to kind of help him to the best of my abilities for him to get the win. And when I saw Lokovitz and Titus kind of shoot out to the third line there, I think in the backstretch, my first reaction was, oh shit. And then we just have to push as hard as we can. Because again, we would worst case scenario for Craig, it was that one of those guys was going to win. So it was a hell of a race. It was a lot of fun. I figured that that probably wasn't going to be the case with the low car count, but I had a blast tonight.
Yeah, like I've said it all night. Usually these super speedway races, they can be surprising when you have a low car count like this. Makes it a lot harder to pass, makes it a little bit tighter to race. and usually puts on a good show, and that's exactly what you boys did tonight. So you kind of stole my thunder in my next question by asking about team orders here, if you're trying to let Craig get some points here or get locked in if he could, but sounds like you answered that one for me. But next week we move on to Vegas. Totally different track, and kind of similar in a way to Homestead Miami, as you got to kind of you can run the high side or the low side. How do you like your chances next week at Vegas?
I love my chances. I think that next week is, Vegas is my favorite track. I think it's my best track. And I would be very surprised if I didn't finish in the top two. Obviously, I know that the guys in this league are really, really fast, and like Schaefer and Warren and Craig and there's a bunch of other people, but like they're always a contention to win on a weekly basis. So obviously I can't just take it easy for a week, even though we're locked in now. So I don't necessarily have to worry about the points and everything. I don't even actually have to worry about the win, but I feel really good about my chances. I think I can go back to back. And then I guess to add to that, Homestead, my chances there for the championship race. I'm kind of I feel pretty weird about it. It's a track that I've historically been really, really good at, but I haven't been able to figure it out. I would say in the last maybe year and a half or so. So I don't know. I'll have to break something for the championship race. Yeah, it's just going to be a fun one. Yeah, huge shout out to my teammates, Craig and Chris. Obviously, we worked together really well there tonight. Got Craig really, really good points, and so I think that puts him in a really good spot heading into next week, where he basically, if he just finishes the race, I think he moves on. And shout out to Warren. I guess he did exactly what he said he was going to, so I appreciate his help tonight. No way I would have won without him, so big shout out to him, and thank you so much for doing the broadcast, and thanks for the admins for hosting.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. Good luck next week at Vegas, and of course, good luck at Homestead, as we'll see you there in that final championship race.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You as well.
So that was your winner here tonight, Cedric Hunter, getting the win here from Talladega Superspeedway. That's going to do it for us here tonight as we round out here in the second to last race of the season. Of course, next week we'll have Vegas and then our season finale from Homestead, Miami. So don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe, and get notified anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget to check out our great partners listed down below, including Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Check out thebuttkicker.com, our series sponsor, simwrapmarket.com. For iRacing paints made easy, check out the link below, or just visit them at simwrapmarket.com. Of course, we can't forget about our website over at intensityracing.com. If you're a small-time race team looking for some swag, or you want to pick up some of Atlee Hatman Weiss's racing gear, check out intensityracing.com. That's going to do it for us here tonight. From everybody here at Intensity Broadcasting, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe. And as our boy Atlee Hatman Weiss would say, over and out.